What is up? Welcome back to the second hour of 8 Bits. I'm djWHEAT, joined as always by itmeJP and Greenspeak. We are talking about PAX Prime 2014. We've just begun to dip into what we saw and what we played while we were there. And does anyone want to kick us off here in our second hour?
Is anyone talking about the Order? Because they were there, and I haven't heard a single person say anything about that game coming out of PAX.
You know, I know that they had sort of like closed demos going on. I don't think it was a walk up and play.
Really?
But
okay.
I'm still excited for that game. I didn't make an effort to go play it just because I had seen the demo and I feel like the game's going to be solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Because I was just curious because I didn't hear. I think Dan's Gaming said he went and played it or saw it played or something, and that it still looked entertaining and cool. But I just didn't hear anyone talk about it.
I thought it was playable. Maybe it wasn't.
No, it was, but I think it was like you had to wait in line. It wasn't necessarily just a walk up and play type thing. So it was also, when I said closed, it was like, so for example, Bloodborne was closed off, but I could still sit on the side and watch even when I didn't get a chance to play.
Right.
But the Order was a little bit different. Like, I think they were just like playing their trailer. I could be wrong.
Okay. Did you guys see what Alien Isolation was doing? How they had they had like a challenge egg. Did you see that egg on their booth?
No.
Yeah.
So the challenge egg was, if you could beat this challenge in 3 minutes, or sorry, maybe it was just like the lowest. No, I think it was 3 minutes. Then you ended up getting maybe it was like a PS4 or something. It was like a crazy prize. And I don't know of anyone that actually beat it. Apparently it's really fucking hard to like get through without being killed by this zombie. Or sorry, this fucking alien zombie. This alien in the game. So, and I didn't play that. I kind of wish I did, but I'm also glad I didn't, because I wouldn't want to be like terrified amongst others. I would rather just be like, I'm cool, guys. Can we turn the headphones all the way down so I don't have to hear audio? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I think this is the first game I've ever seen in any convention where they had like, you must be 17 and over to play this game.
Yes.
I've never seen that before.
I didn't even know that was there.
I saw that as well.
I mean, you can have your little kid play Call of Duty, blow people's heads off, whatever, but you were not allowed to line up for that game unless you were 17 and over. And I think it's got to just be the fear factor, right? I mean, it's not like it's that much more violent than anything else out there.
Sure.
I mean, I think they just didn't want to scare the shit out of little kids, I guess.
I don't know. I heard a lot of people talking about the game. As I mentioned, there were a ton of people at the booth at all times. It was always
it was always packed.
Quite packed.
I'm sure you guys have played more things. The last thing I'll say, the weirdest thing I saw at PAX, I thought it was the Ubisoft thing where people would get in animal suits and literally just beat the shit out of each other. Still pretty weird, still pretty high on the weird meter. But what takes the cake is at the Blizzard booth, watching people sit at these Hearthstone stations and play Hearthstone.
I am totally with you. I don't get it. People were in line to
fucking play Hearthstone.
Seriously, I had the same problem.
I sat there and I was just like, huh. What?
What in the fuck? I just tap them, be like, bro.
Yeah, it's like,
what the fuck are you doing?
Do you have an iPad? Do you have a computer? It doesn't have to be a good one. You can play this right now for free.
They turn around and they're like, I run Linux.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And it's like everything makes sense.
And the thing was, it wasn't like there were a couple booths where just no one was playing. It was packed. Like there was always people there.
I didn't understand it. Yeah, I walked by their booth and I saw like big lines and I was like, oh, it's Heroes of the Storm, which there were lines for, but there were also for Hearthstone. I wanted to stage an intervention with a megaphone.
It was weird. It was so fucking weird. And also, people are playing the new WoW expansion, which I mean, I guess makes sense.
I don't even know how to respond to the Hearthstone. Like, I feel like I want to yell right now, like but I want to rage a little bit. But it's just like I can't even believe it.
I mean, people just play anything, and it's just an impulse. I mean, I can tell you that.
Oh, there we go, Tricky Love. It was the fastest way to get free cards and lanyards.
Oh,
see, they got it figured out. Come on in, play our game, get this lanyard or this free card. Okay.
There you go.
That makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot
Suddenly,
more sense.
We're all silenced. We all get it.
It's still weird as shit, but I get it. Like, people want their free swag, so.
Had to play the game to get the swag.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Jeff, did you ever bring up a game, and maybe this was PAX East, or maybe it was even E3. Did you bring up a game called Dreadnought? Was that you?
I don't know.
I thought it was you. I stood there and I was just idly walking by, and this was back near the. Oh God, I forgot. This was the north side, or that doesn't make any sense. But I walked by this thing, and I was like, "Huh, that's a really cool looking booth, and that game looks really weird. Like, what is this?" Dreadnought is this multiplayer game. I think it's 5v5, and players control these basically dreadnoughts, these giant fucking ships, and the fight takes over, or sorry, is above a giant LA, like a giant fucking metropolis, and it was just really awesome watching these huge mammoth ships with very, very slow animations that are doing quick warps and things like that. But just firing these giant barrage of rockets at each other, or these huge fucking lasers. I have no idea if the game's any good, if the gameplay's any good, but it looks cool as shit. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think this is
really
me.
love to see more.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screens. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I forgot who was telling me about that a while back, but it looks really cool. It looks really awesome. I didn't play it. I kind of wish I did, but it looks really, really cool, and graphically looks awesome. Very, very detailed chips.
So they mentioned the 5 versus 5, and what I'm seeing here, is there a single player component to this? Because this would I feel like this would make for a cool single player game.
It might be.
Obviously, the multiplayer is a draw, but I could see that being awesome, right? Command your flagship and go.
Yeah, I mean, look at the detail on the ships,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's only a couple
exhaust on as small as the tiny little satellite dish that has no fucking purpose at all. Beautifully detailed ships. Looks really cool. I want to see what that's actually like. I have no idea when it comes out or anything.
I do like their description, JP. A thinker's game, a title for those more adept at thinking 2 steps ahead rather than those that rely on their twitchy fingers. A chess match in space.
It makes sense because those ships do not move fast. So it's probably super positional based, kind of like Mech Warrior, but with giant hulking spaceships. So, what else did you guys see?
One game that I saw both at East and this time was Darkest Dungeon. Have you seen that game?
Heard about it.
It's also it was also an indie mega booth. And it's a side-scroller, side-scrolling dungeon crawl, super hardcore. I hate to invoke Dark Souls again, so I won't. But it's you basically command a party of 4, and again, it's a side-scroller.
Whoa!
And the art style is super cool. And what's really the mechanic that's particularly interesting is there's different psychological effects and emotional effects that your party will be inflicted with based on the attack or based on what's going on in the scenario, which will then completely fuck up the party. And it's more than just a standard sort of RPG. They go berserk and do 1 hit of damage on another party member. I mean, there's all sorts of fucked up shit in there.
That sounds really cool.
The display of how they do it, where they bring in the focus and of the party as they're fighting, it looks it looks dungeon crawly, but then it almost looks like it has a little bit of turn-based combat to it. Like it's
Exactly.
and with the art, like really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool game. These guys, I think they're Canadian. Want to give them credit for who they are. I'm just looking. I can't remember.
The dev team?
Yeah. My apologies to them.
Red Hook Studios.
Thank you, Red Hook Studios. Yeah.
It's a pretty small team. Looks like it's 5, 6 people.
I love this screenshot right here. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
It looks really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of get a little bit of like, I guess you touched on this, but a little bit like of Legends of Grimrock, but more stylized, and,
Sure.
and you actually get to see the characters kind of doing their damage and whatnot.
Yep.
But I have no idea. It probably plays. It looks actually more RPG than that game actually was.
Yeah.
But there's more stats.
This is very RPG-ish, but you know I mean, just look at that art. It's got this kind of almost neat, like kind of German 70s vibe to it or something. Very cool stuff.
Really cool.
So that was one of the best things I saw.
Nice.
Do you see anything else, Sweet?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I could keep going through my list. So I did get a chance to probably have about 15 minutes with Bloodborne and spent about another probably 20 watching it. And I'm actually really stoked for this game because I feel like it still has that dark soulness to it, but it does one of the things that I've always wanted to see, and that's like speed up the gameplay just a little bit.
It seems like because you can't block in this game, so it seems very
fluid.
So suddenly evasion becomes like the big skill. But the way evasion works is that it's not like there's vulnerability at times of evasion. So you can't just like, he's got this move where he can like almost do this little like this like complete 180 around him and get like back attacks in. But you can't just spam it because you sort of have that moment where you have to recover from it. So I like, again, like I always thought, well, if they speed it up, it's probably going to like fuck up why the game is good. But it seems like they've actually sped it up, and because they sort of got rid of the blocking and they made it more about evasion and going in and out, I'm a fan. I'm not. For those that were like worried about this game, I don't know if there's anything to be worried about.
Is it as melee based? I mean, I know you have a gun now, right?
Yes, definitely. There's still melee in it. Yeah.
It's also combo based, right? Someone was telling me that they had like a short sword, and like L1 makes that become a long sword.
Yes.
But you can do this in the middle of
a
combo
attack,
string.
right.
So like, you go and like stab someone twice, you pull out your you turn the short sword into a long sword, then you do like a more like a bigger strike or a stronger strike, and then like shoot him with the gun and then put it back to a short sword and like fall back.
Yes.
So,
yeah, that's exactly right. It's not like it's not grading you necessarily like a Devil May Cry is or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of ways to inflict damage, let's say.
The other thing that
it will reward you for being really good at keeping those combos up.
The other thing that I pulled away from people that were talking about it was like, in Dark Souls the mob encounter was like 1 or 2, and when it got to 3, it was like, oh fuck, I got to get out of here. Like I can't be around here. There were multiple times where I would see someone fighting like 8 things at once, or there would be 8 creatures right in front of them, and then they would pull one over to them.
Yeah.
Very slowly and methodically.
There's like, how even the small creatures in Dark Souls are like you mentioned,
some of the worst.
If there's 3 of them, it's like, there are definitely still those creatures, and there are definitely still those big guys that you only take, like you only want to be taking those guys on at a time. But they do throw in, like you mentioned, I would call them more like herds. They're weaker, but you still, in number, they will fuck you up. But you should be able to dispatch them pretty easily. The other thing about the game is that it's goddamn gorgeous.
Yes.
It really, it looks like they worked on the frame rate
so good looking.
since E3.
Yes, absolutely. felt really good, looks amazing. I mean, I'm looking at these screenshots right now, and they still don't do the game justice because once you see,
Once you see it in fluid, 60.
Yeah, the art direction. These guys,
so good, man.
there's something about. I mean, it's not. It's just their creative imagination. It's just so cool. You know, it's just all the difference in the world when you've got artists who just are like going for it. You know, and aren't particularly tied to any convention or any, you know, trying to emulate somebody else.
Yeah,
it's just super cool looking.
I'm pretty sure I spoke about this, but I always, whenever the art direction comes up for Dark Souls or something like that, I remember reading, and I can never find it. I remember reading an interview a long time ago where it was with the art lead of, maybe this was the first Dark Souls, and he was talking about like how the concept artist would come back to him with like designs for the monsters, right?
Yeah.
And he would look at the monster, and it would be like, I don't know, some crazy looking like fucked up creature. And the art director would like look at it, and he would look at the guy, and he's like, no, take this back. And I want you to imagine as if you were this thing, you were this creature, and then you draw it from that.
Oh shit!
There you go.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, like that guy's intense as shit.
Awesome.
Man.
That's so
yeah,
awesome.
that is awesome.
Yeah. I wish I need to find that interview, but wow, I'm looking at that. What is that giant thing in the background? It's just like destroying that building.
Seriously,
yes.
what is that?
Yeah, well, it's probably going to be something that'll make us all shit our pants and kill us 30 times, and then we figure out how to do it, and then we're all like, yeah.
Holy shit.
So
yeah.
I'm really excited. Really excited for this game.
Day one.
Yep,
for sure.
I'm at day one. Looks great.
A couple of the other games that these are I snuck in the morning and played games.
Yeah.
Smash on the 3DS and the Wii. So I'm not, I mean, full disclosure, like I'm not like Melee's the only one, and that's the only one you play. I enjoy Melee the most. But you know, this was fun. It seems like everyone's a little bit stronger, so you know, suddenly having the items is almost necessary. I'm not like the biggest fan of that, but it looks great on the 3DS. Not the biggest fan of how it controls, but that's probably just because it's like however many years of playing Smash games. That doesn't, you know, they make it work. It looks great. It runs super fluid. I kind of prefer the Wii U version, but I figured that was going to be the case. But I absolutely will buy the 3DS version, if anything, just to, you know, I'll get a lot of good time out of it, and the multiplayer stuff is great.
The single player on the 3DS is good.
Well, the single player is just like no different than some of the other Smash games where it's like,
okay,
you know, you're unlocking shit, and then you're like doing all the challenges, and you know, Jeff, it's more of the same. But of course, when I say that, so is like every Super Mario game, every Mario Party. They're constantly making innovations, right? There's a lot of different stuff, but it is more of the same.
Usually, in the case of all these franchises, that's good enough. I mean, at least for me. I mean, because the series are always so great that they don't particularly have to innovate a whole lot to be worth the purchase.
Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
To Sami, who said the Smash Bros. Seems a bit too fast-paced for the 3DS controls. You know, if anyone ever played PlayStation All-Stars on the PS3 and then played the Vita version, even though it's kind of the same, the controls on the Vita version felt like harder to execute. That's kind of how I felt in the exact same way. I think there's ways to go into the options and sort of simplify some of the controls, which I just didn't even mess with. I just used like the default controls that they want you to play with. But you know, I think everyone will play this with the GameCube adapter. You know,
anyways, yeah.
So
you know, talking about a game, a lot of people are saying like they don't have any hype for Destiny, a game that I have no hype for whatsoever, and I don't know why. For Super Smash, I just could care.
Oh,
I could give zero fucks.
You'll be hype when all the late nights, you know, Smash Brothers Twitch streams fire up, and it's just a crazy party of.
See, but
Streamers trying
I
to
kind
kick
of
the
liken
shit out
that
of
to
each
the
other.
Mario Kart 8 thing. Like, I've played 10 minutes of Mario Kart 8, and I could not be asked to play anymore. Like, I just don't care. I don't know why. Maybe I've lost my childlike charm of Nintendo games that stayed with me for 27
know.
years, and finally it's just like, it's gone.
I'm
gone.
looking forward to playing some.
We
online
all
Smash.
say that at some point in our lives, and then we come back.
Yeah, I hope it comes back, because, like, I see people playing Mario Kart 8, and I'm just like, I want to have fun like that. Look, they're having fun. Like,
Yeah, I haven't played Mario Kart in years and years now, but I like watching it,
yeah.
and
it's good fun.
I'll get dragged back in at some point.
So, anything else to say on Smash Wheat?
No, other than I'm glad I got a chance to at least finally play it because I've only seen videos of it. I will get the 3DS version. I will get the Wii U version. So
Okay. Well,
I don't know if I'm ever going to break down and get a Wii U. I'm sorry I cut you
You
off.
should. No, you should. I think that, well, maybe wait till Zelda so you have like a definitive
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
That might be the better call, but there's definitely good games for it. Bayonetta 2 also.
I only watched Bayonetta. They had on the second floor. They had a bunch of Nintendo stations set up. They had it there.
Did you see what they? Did you watch the Nintendo Direct thing yesterday?
No,
it was on Twitch.
I didn't know they had one.
Yeah, it was. They focused on Bayonetta some. The weird thing was like, this was their selling point for buying it on the eShop, right? And I think this was verbatim what they said. They said, you can buy Bayonetta 2 in the store, but if you buy it on the eShop, instead of $59.99, it'll cost you $59.98.
No.
This was an actual statement in the fucking Nintendo Direct.
And Bayonetta is a digital download anyway.
Yeah.
I mean the first one because you get it for free, but then you have to download it. You just get a code for it.
Yeah. They said that, and I was just like, well,
wow,
all doomed.
That's quite a savings. That's,
yeah. But yeah, before I move on to another game, someone found the article that I was referencing, and I just want to read what it says because it's actually a billion times better than what I said. So they ask, what are some examples of traits that you try to keep in your games while still preserving your own unique design style? And one of the concept artists says, I remember when I was drawing the undead dragon. I submitted a design draft that depicted a dragon swarming with maggots and other gross things. Miyazaki handed it back to me saying, this isn't dignified. Don't rely on the gross factor to portray an undead dragon. Can't you instead try to convey the deep sorrow of a magnificent beast doomed to a slow and possibly endless descent into ruin?
Wow. That's
like, holy shit, that's
so
incredible.
good.
Oh,
so fucking
that's
good.
so good.
That's
so
a hell
awesome.
of a boss right there.
Yep, that's good. That's good. So huge shout out to Fautism for sending me that link.
Awesome. Let's see what else today. What do we have on there? Well, the other indie game that I saw that I just got to play for a little bit was called Lead to Fire. And their pitch on the game is we basically want what Hearthstone did to Magic, we want to do to StarCraft. Is what they said. Right.
Oh, okay.
Hearthstone did the Magic, we want to do StarCraft.
That's a fucking bold statement.
So,
that sure is a bold statement.
So what they've done is it's not a space like 3 faction game at all. But the way it works is that there's sort of a deck building element to it where you just kind of build your race based off of the cards you have. So all of the units essentially are available to everyone, but instead of having like 3 distinct factions, they just let you sort of customize your race or how you will like fight. And the concept behind the game is that the animal world is in sort of despair because someone has to be the meat and no one wants to be the meat. And so they're fighting and the loser is going to be the meat sacrificed to, the humans. So
basically this sounds nothing like StarCraft whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. But here's where it is. So you start in a base, and around the base are these 8 pigs, and you harvest the pigs, and that's basically your currency. It's not really so much about building tech buildings to get to your next area, but it is about completing tiers to get food faster so that you can unlock your higher tier units. You don't need like this special building to make tier 2 units. You just need more food. So the way it works is that it's just a much faster and almost simpler, like 2-button attack, stop, defend type scenario. But it keeps all of sort of the ideas and concepts that make StarCraft competitive StarCraft a thing. Hidden expansions, scouting the map, rushing, setting up like defenses, using high ground vision versus versus low ground vision. It's can they do it? I don't know, but I totally got. It's called Lead to Fire. It's all one word. Lead to Fire.
Lead to Fire.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking for Lead Unifier.
So yeah, actually, these guys they broadcast on Twitch every Thursday, and they show the development. So
oh wow,
you can see everything that they're sort of working on. They're the folks that made Monaco.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, still a bold statement, but now they have a little bit of credibility.
It's definitely bold. Like, I don't see this taking the spotlight from StarCraft 2 in the esports world, but for people who are like, hey, I like quick and fast-paced RTS-style games that I can play multiplayer, like this will be their game.
Sure.
Kind of cool. The game was missing a lot of animations when I saw it, so...
seems pretty early on.
It's still
for sure.
early on, yeah.
Very conceptual,
yeah.
On this list, I mean, unless you guys have anything else to really say about PAX? I feel like there's no way that, there's probably 100+ games that were shown there. I think that's a safe number.
Oh my God.
It's impossible.
More than that.
Yeah, it's impossible for... I don't even understand how you cover something like PAX as like an IGN or a Giant Bomb or anything. There's just so many fucking things to see.
There are. I mean, if it were me, I would probably just avoid the AAAs at this point and just be
because they're going to get out anyways,
one thing I saw, did you go up to the 6th floor and see stuff up there?
I never made it to the 6th floor.
There was a game called Wander, which was it was just absolutely beautiful looking. I couldn't quite figure out exactly what it was. It's like an MMO. Somebody was explaining it to me later. It's like an MMO where there's no combat. Basically, you were like, what I watched the guy doing was he was playing as a tree, like an ant, not a tree.
This game sounds real trippy.
I mean, he wasn't just standing there like a
Wanderer?
tree.
Yeah, I'm reading about it right now.
It just was actually gorgeous looking. I think it was using the Cry engine. I could be making that up. Whatever the engine was it was using, it was absolutely beautiful looking. And this dude was wandering around as like an ant.
Yeah. I see that now on this beach, and there's like floating sky islands that.
Where the hell are you finding this?
I'll send you the link.
On my other Skype.
Yeah. Yeah, so the spiel in this article, Jeff says, players take the form of a shapeshifter, and in their time in this mysterious rainforest, piece together the reasons for their transformation, guided by enchanting music and long-forgotten relics, and immerse in a rich sound design and gorgeous landscape.
Whoa.
Right. Yeah, so it's non-competitive.
Having a bong on a table right there.
Yeah, there's no combat. Exactly, another one for that. Especially, because there's no combat. It's all cooperative. I mean, I don't actually see what you do in that game.
Yeah, I don't.
But there you go.
Yeah, it's $50.
It's pretty mind-blowing in terms of its look.
It is, yeah. That ant on the beach looks really cool.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good depiction of it says CryEngine of what it looks like. I mean, they had it on a big screen, and as I was walking through that floor, I just beelined right over there. I was like, "Holy shit! What the hell is that?
What is going on?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Titan Souls?
No.
Oh, I heard about it.
So it's it's by Devolver. Yeah.
Right.
And I just lost the page.
This is the one-shot, one-kill game?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I watched a few play. They had like a thing called the Yeti Challenge where you tried to beat the Yeti. I'm not even sure that anyone actually did it. but it looks cool. Again, like a lot of my favorite things coming out of the show are all indie.
Yeah, I mean, typical PAX, right?
Right.
They
Typical
always
PAX.
have the more
That's
interesting
really the
stuff.
best thing about PAX. You know, and it's so it always really I'm always in such a great mood afterwards because however cynical you get about the games industry or whatever
Yeah.
and bullshit going on, you go to a show like this and you just see so much creativity. You see so many people doing such cool things and
Yep.
working outside of the box, you know, not just working on AAA stuff. And you know what the thing is too, like there's some awesome AAA stuff going on too right now. It's really a cool time in gaming right now, and shows like that always sort of remind me, like, okay, everything isn't all fucked. Actually,
Yeah.
everything is it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. There's just some things. The human element is still
The human
fucked.
element is still fucked, but the human element's been fucked for thousands
You
of
know,
years. But
Yeah.
Jeff,
as soon as the robots take over, we're all better off.
the other
Yeah, I
thing
agree. I
that
agree.
amazes me is that how many guys I ran into at the Indie Mega Booth that were, you know, that were from EA formerly. That
Yeah,
were
right.
from
Yeah, that's true.
PAX,
It's a big thing right now.
I don't know if you know Raj, formerly worked on a lot of the CNC stuff at EALA. I ran into him. He works level 17, I believe. They make Galaxy.
You're right.
And I had probably like I just had a really fantastic, enlightening sort of 15, 20-minute conversation with him just about this, exactly what we're talking about. The whole concept of, you know, being able to create the games you want to create, using things like Twitch to get it out in front of the people. The whole idea that now whole sections of shows are being dedicated to these games, and it was getting to the
Yes.
point now where like there was competition just to get into these booths as well.
Yes. I know that the competition to get into the Indie Mega Booth is fierce.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just really awesome to see
It-
this
it's-
next wave, or I guess the evolution of.
It's so awesome. It's awesome for everybody. It's awesome that these developers who not that many years ago would have no chance
Yeah.
to get their game out there in front of the public, let alone have it published. Let alone even be able to put it out there on the market. And then a chance for all of us to be able to play these people's games. Like the ability for us to just play a game that some couple made or some dude made.
Yeah.
And have it be good and have it cost like $5. Like, it's such a cool time to be in video games. Well, we don't have to pay $60 and wait 3 years for everything. I mean, there's way more games to play every day than we could possibly talk about.
There is, yeah. Steam Early Access is actually crazy with the amount of games being... Like, new releases is just a dumb term for what's coming up for AAA games now, because there's like 30 plus games being thrown onto Steam every single day.
Yeah, that's right. And I need release day hardly means anything anymore. I mean, I was playing what's that game, The Forest, the other day, or A Forest? Is it A or The?
The Forest, yeah.
The Forest. Okay, so it's not just any old forest.
No.
It's The Forest. But games like that, or DayZ, where they're not really out yet, and yet tons of people are playing them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just such a good time, guys. I'm gonna cry.
It is. It's a good time. It's a good time. What about non-pack stuff? Jeff, I see you've been playing Diablo 3. You playing on the PS4?
Yeah, I'm playing on the PS4.
So I've actually seen and I played a lot, but it seems like the journalistic side of gaming has now really taken hold of Diablo 3 and is absolutely loving it on the PS4.
Yeah.
So many people are just giving it such good reviews and just
Really?
beaming with the joy that is getting loot. So it seems like they did a really good job with the PS4 version of that game.
Yeah. And it's funny because back in the day, the idea of Blizzard doing a console port, would have been
Yeah,
blasphemy.
it's laughable. Yeah, it's laughable.
And laughable. I mean, and look how long it took for a Ghost to never come out. They were. So it didn't seem like this was ever going to really happen, and they did an awesome job at the controls. I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago. And what I like about that, to continue to wax philosophical here and emotional, is that one thing I'm really enjoying about these days is that PC versus console thing seems so dead to me now. I don't really hear anybody doing that much anymore. You get the occasional kind of whatever impassioned dork who really feels the need to defend their own platform. But I feel like most of us these days are fairly platform agnostic, and it doesn't really matter. We just want games on anything, and so you don't even really hear about people saying like, Diablo on PS4 is, whatever.
Right.
Because back in the day when I was like on Computer Gaming World magazine, it was a full-on fucking war between PC and console all the time.
Yeah.
So Apple II Master Race, somebody said, yeah.
There you go.
Close.
And then Lichdom Battlemage, a game that you actually
that's out
got
now,
me to play.
right?
It's out fully, I think. Yeah. The Lichdom.
Is it out?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah,
it is out. It is out. I think it came out like yesterday or
something like that. I actually really want to play that. I really, really enjoyed what I played like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, however long that was. Also, who is publishing that? Because they had a fucking massive booth at PAX.
It's them. It's these guys.
Only them?
They're that Russian company that made a shitload of money doing online poker sites, and basically were like, well, we have all the money in the world. What do we want to do?
Exactly.
And the guy, apparently, who's the head of all this, said, you know what? I love video games. I want to make the video game that I want to play. And they actually sort of sell themselves as the first AAA indie company.
Dude, it looked like
because
their booth was massive.
They're like, we're going to self-publish, we're going to do it all ourselves, but we're going to put the polish and the the budget that a AAA games get. So my question is I know when it came out, people were like, wow, this is great. It's not done yet, but it's great. Have you played it since it's like officially been out, Jeff? Or
I have not played it in the last week, but I played it. I played it like 2 or 3 weeks ago when it was probably nearly in the state it's in now. I have to imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks great, and I really love it. I mean, it's hard. It's actually a hard game.
It was. Yeah, I kind of got that as well, especially the challenges that you could find that were really difficult.
But I just really love the concept. I mean, I'm a old school fan of Hexen and Heretic in the day. I mean, and basically that's what this is. It's like a modern version of that. This is just a shooter. This is an FPS, except there's no weapons except your spells. You're just firing spells. And the cool thing is, the spells are all you create them yourself. I mean, you get some basics, but a huge element of this game is amassing these elements, whatever they call them, and combining them into different ways. You have different schools of magic, and the schools are discrete. Like you can't mix the schools, but you can fire off like combos of spells. So if you do like a water spell and then a fire spell, that may lead to some like insane combo. Yeah. And that stuff is, I don't think it's procedural. That's probably not the right word for it. Actually, I don't know, so I'll just shut up. But I'm talking out my ass. But the game looks great. And yeah, I think I'd have to go back in and see the full game before deciding if I actually full on recommend it. What are they charging for it?
I think 39.
Is it? Because it was 20 when I bought it in early access, and then they said when the game fully comes out it'd be 40. I think.
So. Okay.
They had different price points for when you got into the game, and that was kind of their selling point for buying it. And early access was that you paid $20 less.
Yeah, I mean it looks sweet, and that's a really good description, or I guess it was a self description what you said, Weed, of like a AAA indie or whatever, because it looks like a AAA game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, and yeah.
I don't really.
I guess
want to ask about that one, but
I've been playing this week on stream. I've been playing more Battle Royale, and the game still is giving me moments that like are new, and it's still like a refreshing.
I heard you had quite the car craziness happen.
Yeah, I had the dumbest game yesterday that I ended up winning. I drove around in a car for 35 minutes and got shot at a fuck ton of times because I didn't have a gun. I didn't loot a single piece of equipment or gear, and I got out of the car and I had been shot, so I had like lost blood, and I ended up finding like a gun that had only 16 ammo in it, and it was like a piece of shit gun. It was like the equivalent of basically an Uzi. So like it just doesn't shoot very far. It's not very accurate. Didn't have a silencer, no scope. Hid underneath this car that I had somehow kind of like teeter-tottered on this rock accidentally. So I was just out in the open. The circle's probably like 50 meters wide at this point. You can see both ends of the circle standing in the center very easily. I'm in the center. My car starts teeter-tottering. I immediately just get underneath the car and hide there and just hope that no one sees me. Like 4 or 5 shots get shot off at the car. I'm just scared as fuck because I can't do anything. I'm in the center of this field underneath the car with a shit gun. Eventually the circle shrinks one last time and I have to get up and like pull this giant flank on this guy that's like wearing the fucking scuba gear with the wetsuit, and he's got like this giant sniper rifle, and I see him off in the distance, and I just take the shot and kill him and win with 6 bullets, and like
that
it
had
was
to
just
feel
the
good.
dumbest shit. It was the dumbest shit I'd ever seen. He was really upset in chat. He was one of the subscribers as well, and I was just like, I'm so sorry, man. Like,
Did he unsubscribe after that?
he probably will. He probably will. But yeah, like that game still continues to. I still have fun in that game. I'm starting to do like the one I won yesterday. I just get in a car and run people over, and it becomes like a completely different game where you're not worried about the tense factor is not there because you're in a car basically almost like a god in the sense that you can get shot and people can kill you, but you're going 70 miles an hour or 70 kilometers an hour. So it doesn't fucking matter, right? Because if you die, you just join another game immediately. And so moments that occur in that game are just still hilarious to me. And I cannot pitch that game more. It was actually on sale last week for $30. Arma 3 was. I don't know if that's still continuing, but
I downloaded it based on your recommendation, but I haven't played it yet.
It takes a while to get into. Me and Ryan, my friend, have kind of like slowly worked people in and helped them understand the game. And there's still moments of like, we got our dungeon master, one of the DMs from roleplay, playing Steven. And there's still things where he's like, oh fuck, I'm dead, god damn. It's just like, well, now I know that I shouldn't have opened that door because there was someone behind it and I could have seen them, et cetera, et cetera. But it still happens, and I'm having a lot of fun with that still. The other game I've been playing on stream is Red Dead Redemption.
Oh wow.
Love
that game.
Can't go
played
wrong.
that. I played it to Mexico, like the person in the story, all the way up until Mexico, and I've just eclipsed that now. And it's the game. Like, there are still maybe 1 or 2 games that I think can even that you can speak about kind of in the same breath in terms of the characters of Red Dead Redemption. They are just so fucking amazing.
And that's my favorite Rockstar game today.
It is, yeah.
Me
I
too.
think it is for me too.
too.
Better than GTA 5 even. Like, the characters are just insane. Like, Trevor doesn't hold shit to the majority of the characters
Totally
in
agree.
that game. And I know what happens at the end, and I won't spoil it for people, even though it's an old fucking game. But still, like the journey of getting there is something I'm very interested in. So I'll definitely be finishing that. And it's awesome. There are moments where it's very tedious with a lot of the bullshit missions that you have to do in between like the major story missions, but it's still a lot of fun.
I never had a problem with it. I mean, I get what you're saying. I just thought like riding around on the horse.
Oh, that was
fun.
It's a fucking incredible thing.
exploration
Yeah.
was one of my favorite things. You know, like I would do every time they'd be like, "Yo, John, why don't you go herd some cows?" I'd be like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna go ride off on my horse and explore
Yeah.
shit, and I'll come back to the cows later." You know, that was always the stuff when they're like, "All right, we need to go break into this fort and take all." I'm like, "Yes, let go." Every time I was, you know, well, maybe you should escort this lady over this city. It's like, nope. I'm just gonna go play around for a little bit. That was one of my favorite
It's
things.
so
you know,
good. I
running
think
into
that
a
game
panther. And,
Yeah, I think that game will as years go on, its reputation is going to get better. As a standout.
Yep. And I still think the sequence when you're riding into Mexico for the first time, where the music actually comes and it's actual like they're singing in it. Still one of my favorite moments that I've had in a very, very long time for a single player experience. Like, super fucking calming, super serene. Music fits perfectly. Just a great like walkthrough. Almost you don't do anything. You're just like walking, or you're riding through the wilderness as this is going on. Super great.
I know there have been attempts at making like Western games before, and this one was just so superior. Oh my god! Yeah,
I agree.
All right, well, we should wrap. I know that we got a couple hard stops coming up here. So PAX overall, I think, was great. Of course, you know, there wasn't anything like, oh, my God, how did we not know about this? But, you know, got a chance to play some of the games that were announced at E3 and then check out the mobile stuff. And there's been quite a few sites that have done work on the mobile stuff, or excuse me, on the indie stuff. And a lot of that is coming out soon. So keep your eyes on Twitch, because I'm sure there are a lot of games that people are going to be playing. You know, over the course of the next few months that are going to come out of there. So, as far as I know, we should be good to go for a show next week. So we'll of course figure that out amongst us.
Next week's going to be different. I might actually be.
I might be dead because I'm doing Destiny 24-hour stream, and then.
Here, I'll handle it in my shout-outs. I'll talk about
all right. Well, why don't we start with our shout-outs, final thoughts. Jeff, we'll kick it off with you.
You can find me at GreenSpeak. That is both my Twitter handle and my my Twitch name. I'm going to be doing more Dark Souls 2. I'm going to do more Hearthstone live streaming, and if I really feel like humiliating myself, maybe some Guacamelee. Though I humiliate myself enough in Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, you know what I just realized, Jeff, as I'm showing your Twitter. You should totally put your Twitch channel in your
Oh shit! I should. Thank you.
Yeah, you should.
You're right. You're so right. Okay, gonna do it right now.
It's my job as Twitch's director of community education, right there.
You're doing your job. They should give you a raise, man.
Double check mark for Jeff Green. He's set.
Hey, by the way, we last night when I streamed. Before I opened up a beer to get the stream going, and I showed this. I opened up the beer.
Yeah, nice. Now, you know what, Jeff? I have to warn you that those things are also incredibly dangerous.
Are they?
Yeah, that is rare what you have, because those things can cut you. Just be
really
aware. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they didn't take it away from me at TSA on the
that's
plane.
good. That's good.
So,
and if you're ever in a odd situation, you need a quick weapon, just remember, Twitch bottle cap opener apparently is pretty sharp.
That's right. I may not make a lot of money streaming yet, but I got the goddamn bottle opener.
JP.
So next week is kind of crazy by my own fault, but let's see. I guess coming up tomorrow, we've got a 4-hour stream. Can we talk about what we're playing?
Yeah. I think I just saw.
I mean, I guess you talk about it, because I still need to sign some.
Yeah. Well, an email came out, so I saw there was a email that was released. But so they just integrated Twitch SDK integration, like mobile broadcasting, from Heroes of Order and Chaos. So JP and I, we're like, all right, we're going to play this together. So we're hopefully going to just get a super OP group of players and then see how we can do in the game. Yeah, we'll play against the bots, but I want to play against real people, JP.
Yeah, of course. No, we got to at least we got to do one bot match.
Of course.
So that's at 1 Eastern tomorrow?
1 PST, I think. I should find the email because it has it all right here.
Is it? Oh God, if it's 1 PST, that's gonna be rough. I might have actually.
No. I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. Wrong. I'm looking right now. 11 a.m. PDT. So 1 o'clock. Yes.
1 Central.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 2 to 6 Eastern tomorrow. Me and Wheat will be playing a mobile MOBA game on both of our channels. It should be a lot of ridiculousness.
Awesome.
And it's free to play if you guys have a iPad or iPhone 5, I think.
Yeah, in fact, get it now.
What's it called?
Heroes of Order and Chaos. It's a game-off game. And, they created Order and Chaos, which was basically like their answer to World of Warcraft. And then they decided to use that lore and that world to basically create their own MOBA. And it's a combination of a few of the MOBAs that you can play online, but it's all, all mobile.
Yep.
So
that's tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening from 8 to 12 Eastern, I'll be doing a one-shot of 5th edition with Steven DMing with the rest of the Breakfast Club, Giant Waffle, Bacon Donut, and Rachel. I don't know why that's their Twitch names. I'm not making this shit up. I think we're just going to call it One Shots Breakfast Club or something like that, and it should be a lot of fun. Sunday, I think we have Solemn at 8 Eastern over on my channel, and Monday should just be a normal streaming day, except for the fact that it's going to be me streaming all day, and then Destiny launching at midnight, and then I'll be doing a 24-hour stream all day Tuesday for that, which should be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people are very interested in that game, but it has a lot to prove on that first day, right? On like how big the game actually is, and we all get to kind of understand what that game is probably at the later levels.
Yeah. I think that the campaign is going to be quick.
I think
but
so.
Then
too.
I think there's going to be so much to do after.
I think so.
Hopefully that's not going to matter in the long run.
Yeah, we'll see.
But we'll see.
It's probably the biggest release of the year, and the marketing behind that game is probably one of the biggest in history. So we'll see if it was all for naught next Tuesday. I'm really excited to play that, and then we'll play that Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. The reason that I would potentially prefer a reschedule is that at 1 o'clock Eastern next Friday, Arcade launches.
You want to reschedule because of the launch of Arcade?
You know what? No, we want JP to play. You know what we're going to do, Jeff? We're just going to watch JP stream and give commentary on everything that's happening.
You could.
That's going to be the entire 8
I mean, honestly, I probably could just jump on be on the show because like the open beta went live yesterday.
I heard it was real bad.
And, well, it was only bad. I think they have 7 servers, and it's a free-to-play MMO that has been not hyped, but a lot of the big streamers, like 7K plus concurrent streamers, have played it before, and they had, like, a 3-hour queue on every server in the game to get into it just for the open beta.
Wow.
So it'll probably be, like, really hard to get in next week. So if I can just get in queue, we can do the show. Like, we can just I'll jump on. But yeah. And then also I forgot next week's my birthday, so I'll do a stream.
Hey.
I guess I'll be playing. Oh wait, no, it's the 15th. It's the week after that. So never mind. It's next Monday, I think. Anyways, a lot of streaming coming up. I'm gonna be really tired, and there's no breaks. So
that's awesome. All right. Well. Yes. So join us tomorrow to play Heroes in Order Chaos. I've got Twitch Weekly coming up here in an hour. We're going to be recapping some of the things we did at PAX, and then also what's coming up over the course of the next week. Also showcasing some new streamers as well. My weekend, I think. I get my. This is the weekend we have like live tabletop game locally where we, get together like once every 6 months and actually play games like real humans.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'll be around Sunday and then into next week. And actually, I'm taking a secret trip with Gunrun next week where I don't.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I like literally.
Gunrun's been in some crazy spots. We were talking about this.
No, I won't be over in Europe or anything. It's in the United States, but it's seriously been presented to us in a very secret, like you have no idea what's about to happen type way. So that'll be next week.
Interesting.
I don't know.
If you don't sign too many NDAs, maybe we can talk about it.
This is what happened. Like, Twitch, actually, Kevin, one of my bosses, just like, hey, you free these days? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. I'm like, am I going to get any more info? He's like, nope. I'm like, Twitch, the good life.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of 8 Bits. I'll see you in about an hour for Twitch Weekly. Of course, VODs are available on my channel if you're a sub. Otherwise, they'll be on JP's YouTube over at youtube.com/itmeJP. Thank you guys for joining us once again. And we'll see you next week to talk about more video games or maybe not. Keep an eye on our Twitters. We'll let you know. It might be us just talking over JP's stream. Either way, it'll be a good time. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Peace.
Bye-bye.